Welcome to this edition of Warrior Wisdom here in the Warrior Underground. I'm here with Master Advisor Mike Disney, and we're calling this feature Profiles of Success. If you don't know Mike, he's one of the Master Advisors. He's been with the company since the day it started and has been instrumental in helping not only this company, but Mike and Rob's previous company become the company that it had become. And so, Mike, I'd just love to ask you just a few questions. I mean, you've been a part of this amazing growth with CEO Warrior for a few years, right?
Yep.
And to kind of put context to this, why are you doing, I mean, you have lots of choice. I mean, you're a really talented guy, you're amazing at sales and lots of different things. But why are you doing what you're doing here with CEO Warrior as a master advisor?
Yeah, I think that's a great question for me. I really love who I work for, first off. I have two amazing owners who I know fight for my livelihood every single day, and I don't take that for granted. The team here is amazing, but I think the vision and what we do in the world is really what keeps me grounded here. We have nearly 200 clients and helping them work through business troubles each and every day, giving them my expertise and experience to help them limit their exposure to pain that we've experienced through our experience. It's really super rewarding what I do, and so that's why I do it.
Now, you've worked with, I mean, lots of the clients. I mean, and you mentioned you had
Yeah.
hundreds of clients. Now, what do you see, to kind of get into strategy here for a second,
Sure.
what do you see are some of the biggest mistakes that most service business owners are making as they really look at transforming and growing their business?
Yeah, I think if we talk about, I think that's probably multi-tiered, but we'll talk about basic mistakes.
Yeah.
I think not understanding that there's a need for systems and processes today is huge. That's a big failure on most people's part. Having poor hiring habits is enormous. I mean, in today's climate, you have to be always recruiting. It has to be part of your marketing function. I think that's a big challenge for everybody in terms of hiring. And then I think that a lot of people look for a magic pill and are afraid to work hard. And I think there's no substitute for working hard and being planned. And I think that's what most people fail at.
Now, speaking of that failure, on the other side of it, right, you've got people who, maybe they've hit a plateau, right? They've had a business for a while, they get a little success, maybe hit a plateau, or just starting, they hit a plateau, or can't just crack that code. And then there are others you guys have worked with that are 50 million or more a year businesses doing really well that also kind of hit that place, we'll call it that ceiling.
Sure.
What advice would you give? Because again, you've got an incredible body of work over the last several years. What would be 1 to 3 breakthroughs that you could share with other CEO Warrior members or potential warriors
Sure.
that could help transform their business?
I think when you ask that question, first thing that comes to my mind is, what got you here won't get you there.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot, just understanding where you are today and where do you really want to be. I think the lack of a painted vision, the lack of clarity and alignment with your current team, that's what holds them back. I mean, everybody, there's that 1 million, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, no preparation for the dips and curves. I think that's really probably the biggest challenge for people when it comes to growth, right? They go after they go after the revenue, and they fail to understand that, maybe their skill set isn't a $5 million skill set, so they lack specific trainings, specific understanding of next level financials, next level training for their techs. How do we approach a client at 5 million versus 1 million? I think that there's a lot of struggles with that. So I think the dips and curves and being prepared for that's the biggest key.
Well, what do you get the greatest joy with what you do with CEO Warrior?
I think, and I think it's part of our mission statement, right? Just to ease the pain of business owners. And so when I have a business owner who tells me that, man, that was amazing advice, it worked out great, it was perfect, and I recognize that he didn't have to experience a failure that I may have experienced, I think that's really super rewarding. And understanding that, look, everything we're teaching, we've done. Everything we're talking about, we've implemented. And so there's a proven recipe in a lot of the stuff that we have. And if I can just help them, guide them through it, and they feel less pain than we did, that's the rewarding part.
Speaking of the pain, so coming back to context, getting here,
Yep.
right? Share with everybody and share with somebody watching right now, like, I mean, you come from the service business industry. You worked in the field, right? You were brought in for a very specific purpose. You helped grow and do millions of dollars in the time that you were there in a very specialized area. So why don't you share, like, where you came from, like what got you here, like that little journey?
Yeah, so my journey is a little different than most. I'm not a HVAC guy in the field. I wasn't a plumber in the field. I was a auto mechanic by trade, right? I broke wrenches. I turned tools all day long. So I know what it's like to work in the hot July months. I know what it's like to work in the cold February months. I think being able to be on the tools teaches you a lot about just getting stuff done and having an ability to provide things for people. As I transitioned from my business to work with Mike and Rob, I think the biggest thing for me when I got there was understanding that structure provides a lot. My previous business was kind of like we had our bank of customers that we provided for. We had a lot of contract work. And so for me, it was kind of like the day kind of ruled us. And then coming over to Gold Medal and then what I experienced there, the first thing that comes to mind is just understanding that we plan for what we want, right? And so when we can predict our future, how much more successful can we be? And so understanding, knowing about, all the different things that are associated with that were just like membership plans and communication to clients and tracking results in terms of conversion and average and all that stuff. Super, super important.
And speaking of being able to do that, right, with someone who is coming to the CEO Warrior world for like the first time,
Yep.
right? And I don't know whether they responded to an ad or they had a friend of theirs say, "Hey, you got to check this out."
Sure.
Right? What do you feel makes this different versus other programs that are out there?
Well, I think absolutely what makes a difference is that everything that we've done is proven. So every system, every process, just go through it. I mean, all the things that we talk about, all the strategies, all the, the building of action items and preparing you to leave Service Business Edge with an actionable plan, all of it's worked. We know it works. We know it's sustainable. And we've done it. And so I think that's really the difference. I would, challenge a lot of groups out there to show me the two guys that started as friends in a truck and built it into a $32 million business and supported 200 employees and all their families. I think that's rare. It's a rare commodity today. And to be able to be educated by those type of people, I think is pretty special.
It's inspirational, isn't it?
100%, for sure.
Now, what are you most inspired by?
Personally?
Yeah.
I think I'm most inspired by my children and how they grow. So I think look, I mean, I'm a father at heart. Everything comes down to my children. But I mean, look, basic inspiration is that if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think watching my children grow and get older and come into teenage years and soon to be young adults, I think that is inspiring to me, and it makes me kind of come do a better job, be a better person at work because I have a obligation and a responsibility to them. And so, I mean, I think that's what inspires me to do what I do all day long.
And there's a lot of people that come here and they have families, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're right, and it's a family business, or they're married and kids and trying to balance and navigate between the business owner, service business, and their family. Like, what advice would you give them to be able to do business awesome and do at home awesome?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a common dynamic, right? In the service industries, most people were thrown into it as a young age. Maybe they acquired their dad's business because he didn't want to work anymore. Retirement, they bought out, whatever. I think, look, the key to that is communication. Solid communication, solid. We talk about, and Mike has a book called The 9 Pillars. And the 9 pillars has 3 pillars in there that I live by every day, and it's clarity, alignment, and accountability. And so if you have clarity and you have alignment amongst your partner or your family members, it's easy to hold them accountable because they recognize what their obligations are. And so clarity and alignment are absolutely imperative.
Now, as far as the business itself, I mean, you guys do these amazing events, right? You do a bunch of them, right? And they're transformational. It's hard for someone to really understand, like, what happens. Is it a seminar? Nope. Is it a speech? Nope. Is it a motivational thing? Nope. So, like, what would you say to somebody like about the events and what makes them so transformational for people?
Yeah, I think that's funny because we've had people in the past on social media say, "Oh, just a bunch of chest thumpers,"
Yeah.
right? So be it, right? I think that maybe we look at the people that challenge us or judge us in that respect, and we recognize like maybe they should try some of this stuff out in their life, and it may challenge who they are and what they could be. Maybe they hold themselves back for that. I mean, look, our events are energy filled. They're high energy. They're long days. They're really detailed. We force a ton of content at you. We don't believe that we should hold anything back because we know it's a massive investment to come here. To play in our world is we really think it's special, and we deliver. And it comes from Mike and Rob, right? They believe in you can never deliver enough, and so that our whole team subscribes to that. And so when you come here. We are a seminar. We teach probably some of the greatest strategies for home service or any type of business that there is. And for us, we just show you how to minimize the pain and to get through, the troubles that we've been through. It's like, look, when you can have the opportunity to talk to business owners or 5 master advisors that we have here who have been through acquisitions and been through franchises and been through selling of businesses and family-owned business and all the dynamics that are here, there's a real speed of which you can implement things just by following our lead and avoiding the pitfalls that we've been through.
Yeah, and speaking of the pitfalls, it seems that one of the best things a business owner could do is bring some of their team to your events.
100%.
Right. Now, why is that? What would you recommend for someone?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you have I think coming to our events, I think you should bring people for sure. I think you should, if you have a spouse, just for her to have an understanding of, because you're going to come and you're going to go home either jacked up, wired, or with high energy that they may have never seen before, and they may get a little scared.
Yeah.
So I think like bringing a spouse who's intricate in your business, or maybe you have a future belief that they could be part of it, I think it's really important. I think if you have a high-level critical manager who you need alignment with, I think that's the key, and we'll go back to alignment, right? I mean, if you have somebody on your team who needs to hear things with you for you to be super successful, they should be here.
And you guys guarantee all your stuff. So, like, what are your guarantees, and why do you think they're important?
It's pretty. Our guarantee is pretty basic, right? It's extraordinary, but it's basic in its process. Like, look, if after day one you haven't got $1 million in value, we'll send you home. We'll give you the ticket price back. We'll buy your plane ticket. We'll pay for the hotel, pay for the shitty food you ate, and we'll get you back home safe and sound. We haven't given $1 back, and there's a reason for that. I mean, the bottom line is that nobody comes here and doesn't get $1 million value after day one. At the end of the week, sky's the limit. If you come here and you play full out, we will deliver. That's really what it is.
And speaking of playing full out, what's something that most people don't know about you?
So what's something that most people don't know about me specifically? I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm pretty open book, but I have, look, I come from a big Irish family. I have 4 brothers, 2 sisters. I have 4 kids. I'm a divorced father of 4 that wears that as I guess a badge of courage. I mean, I've gone through a lot of pitfalls in life. I think for me, if you were to ask me something that most people don't know, I have gone through life experiences like no one else. I've lost people to suicide. I've had family deaths. I've had a multitude of things that I think kind of makes me a well-rounded individual. And I think some of the tragedies and pitfalls of my life have made me be who I am. So, I mean, I think most people know a lot about me. I'm pretty open and talk. Sometimes I talk too much, people say. But I think that would be the thing. My life experiences outweigh my age.
And what's something I should have asked you that I didn't?
Why should you come to an event, right? So why come to an event, one of the CEO Warrior events? Because they're simply life-changing, period. You're going to come here, you're going to learn. We have an approach that your business is important, but without a solid you, the business won't never get to its capacity. And so for us, we take I guess I could say a holistic approach at everything, right? Like we need you to have a mindset and skill set that's going to work with things. We kind of coach you through that. We build a foundation and then we work off of that. And so, yeah, it's really special. It's really special to be part of the CEO Warrior world, and just get here, we'll prove it to you.
And what are 1 to 3 action steps you hope that people will take as a result of our conversation today?
Well, look, I mean, we offer a free strategy call, and I'd love to, anybody who wanted to get on a call, have a conversation with me, map out your biggest issue, and we'll work through a strategy and we'll help you. And then we'll show you why you should come and get a whole 4 days of it, or 2 days of it, or whatever you come for.
So there you have it. That's our Profiles of Success with Mike Disney. I want to encourage you, I want to challenge you to take action with what Mike has been sharing with you. Take him up on the no-cost strategy call. There'll probably be a link here somewhere on the page, down below, to the right, to the left, wherever it might be. But take advantage of that no-cost strategy call. They'll identify where your business is at, where you want to go, see how they can help, and help you get to that next level. That's it for now. We'll see you next time on Warrior Wisdom Profiles of Success.